Hey guys, and welcome back to the Pong tutorial. Let's continue where we left off, and let's start by doing a small refactor. So if you open up the game manager script, you can see that this is the script responsible for resetting the ball. But I think it should be up to the ball itself to decide what reset means. So if you open up the ball script as well, you can keep them side by side because I like to look at both codes I'm working with at the same time. See that this method over here from the game manager should instead be inside of the ball script. So let's do that. Copy this and paste it in here and change it to public. Now what we want to do in this reset ball in the game manager is to just call on the reset ball method inside of the ball script. This. So here we want to do the same thing we did here. So we want the transform to be equal to the ball start position, and we want to run the stop ball method afterwards. Now the stop ball is inside of the same script, so we can remove the public and change it into private instead. This. So the only thing we want to do now is to get this ball start position, and we have it over here in the game manager, so we can just cut out this line of code and paste it inside of the ball script as well. Like so. Move it up. And then let's go back inside of Unity. Grab the ball. Make sure you saved both files. I forgot to save the game manager. Inside of the ball script, you will see this one, and just drag the ball start position here instead. Now, if we did everything correct, it should work just as it did before. Right? Yes. Once it hits the goal, it resets its position and stops. And then we can start again by pressing space. Great, that was the refactoring. Alright, what I think we should do now is spice it up a bit by letting the ball, when we start, go in a random direction instead of a predefined one that we have done. At the moment it always goes to the left, which is great for testing but not much fun for a game. And if you remember, we decide the direction over here in the ball script. So let's instead make it go in a random direction. So to decide on what we want to do, I think it's good if we draw up a picture. So here we have a picture, and imagine that the gray field is the game field, where the left player is over here and the right player over here. We want the ball to be able to start in any direction defined by this circle, almost. We want it to be able to go left and right and a bit upwards as well, but we don't want it to be able to go straight up, for instance. That wouldn't be very fun if the ball gets stuck over here, bouncing up and down. What we want to do is to make an area, randomized area, which allows the ball to start in any of these direction defined by the red area. So to do that, we can go inside of the code, and here where we're starting the ball, we should create a new vector2, call it start direction. You can call it start direction 2 for now because we already have a start direction. We will change it here, equal to get random direction. Let's create the method private vector2 get random direction, and here we will first decide what direction the x direction will be, and this will be an integer value between -1 or 1. So will it go to the left or will it go to the right? So let's create an integer x direction equal to random range 0 to 2, and see here that the minimum value is inclusive while the maximum value is exclusive. So this 0 to 2 means that it can have values, only values 0 and 1. Okay, but we want the x direction to be -1 and 1, and 1, not 0 and 1. So to do that, we can use a ternary expression. So we set x direction equal to a condition. Is x direction equal to 0? If it is, then we set it to -1. Else, we set it to 1. So this means that x direction gets the value determined by, if this condition is true, then we get this value, and if this condition is false, we get this value. Alright, now we want to do the same for the y direction, but the y direction should instead be a float variable. Y direction is equal to random.range, and this should go from -1 to 1, and don't forget to set f after, otherwise it will be integers anyway. And notice here that it will have a slightly higher chance of going downwards than upwards, because this value is exclusive while this is inclusive, but we won't be bothered with that because it's such a small chance. Okay, and finally we want to return this value, new vector, x direction, y direction. So what we are telling it now is that the y direction could be any value between -1 and 1. If it's 0, then the direction is entirely decided by the x direction. It will go either straight to the left or straight to the right. If it has the value of 1, it will go left to right, but with an angle of 45 degrees upwards. And if it's -1, it will go left to right, but with an angle of -45, with a 45 angle downwards. So it should be acting according to this circle now, or this red area. Right, let's try it out. Oh, also, don't forget to change this to use the new start direction, otherwise it won't work. If it looks like this, it uses the old one. So make sure you change this to 2. Move inside, and we can see that the direction now seems to be randomized, but it seems it can't ever go too high or too low and make a boring game. For instance, if it went straight up, it would just bounce back and forth here. But we can also notice that depending on the direction it gets, the speed varies. So perhaps this is something you want in your game, that the speed should be decided by the direction. For instance, you can see that if it has a low angle, if it goes left to right, the speed seems to be slower than when it has a high angle. That is because this isn't normalized. So we can do it as this, and it will fix this issue, because what we did previously was saying that this vector here has both a speed component and a directional component, basically. What we are saying now is that this is just the directional component, and we will decide the speed by using this variable here entirely. So it will always have the same speed. Let's go back and try. It might be hard to notice, but it's there, I promise. So now the speed is the same no matter the direction we fly in, which again is entirely up to you if you want it this way or not. Okay, now let's go back into the script, and now we can remove this line over here, and then we can change the name from start direction 2 to start direction. Alright, and that's it for this time. Make sure you save it in the collab or you exit. Let's comment it. Start angle plus refactoring. Save. Alright, great. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye.